I got the moves. I got the moves. I'm making moves. You gotta move. You gotta make the city move. Like, whoa. I make the city move. I got the move.
When talking about the top tier teams in the NBA, teams such as the Lakers, Clippers, Bucks, etc. commonly appear. Even some lower level teams like the Jazz, Raptors, 76ers and Rockets get a mention at times too. However, one team that always seems to fly over everyone's heads and is regularly forgotten about in the conversation of contention is the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets are yet again a top seed in the Western Conference, but for some reason rarely get any praise or credit, and this confuses me quite a bit after watching their phenomenal performance today versus the Toronto Raptors. So, why do people think like this? Why are the Denver Nuggets seen as pretenders to some? Are they actually a legit title contender? I'll be going over that in today's video, as well as analysing the Denver Nuggets in general. If you're new here and enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe for more NBA content, but with that being said, let's talk about the Denver Nuggets.
Lucas.
The Denver Nuggets are currently tied second in the Western Conference with the Los Angeles Clippers, as both teams have a record of 41-19. The Nuggets have been playing pretty well lately, winning 7 of their last 10 games during that stretch, and they have beaten teams such as the Raptors and the Utah Jazz during this time. Overall for Denver, so far this season to me, they haven't been terrible, but they haven't been amazing either. However, at the same time, they've been consistently good and always seem to win games that should be won. So, who's been playing well for Denver as of late, and has anyone been playing poorly for them this season? The first player we obviously have to talk about is Nikola Jokic. Jokic didn't have the best of starts to the season. He was playing pretty shockingly and under par, and him being overweight and completely unfit probably played a role in that. However, he's been quoted as saying he's lost up to 50 pounds this season and is once again back up to the fitness level he should be on. This is showing as of late, as Jokic has been playing amazingly and is arguably at or close to an MVP level right now. His stats for the season are 20.9 points per game and 10 rebounds to go along with almost 7 assists a night, and he's doing it quite efficiently too. However, he's stepped up another notch lately, averaging 24, 9 and 6 in his last 5 games, and he's doing it on ridiculous efficiency, 74% from the field. Overall, Jokic has played well this season, but particularly as of late. At the start of the season, when he was playing pretty poorly, I made a video about how he will make or break the Nuggets, and it's been proved right. His fantastic play is making the Nuggets an extremely scary team to come up against. The next player who's been great for the Nuggets this season is Jamal Murray. Murray dominated in the 2019 playoffs and was extremely clutch and efficient, and that's mostly carried into this season. He has slightly plateaued, only averaging 18.7 points, 0.5 more than last year, but his efficiency has slightly improved. His scoring ability is his biggest contributor to the Nuggets, and he's doing it quite efficiently too, about 45% from the field. His PER is above league average with 17.82. Overall, there's not too much else to say here. Murray has just been once again a reliable and generally consistent scorer for the Nuggets this season, which I'll add is something he did struggle to do last year. So that's another improvement made, but again, he's just been overall great this season for the Nuggets. One of the more underrated pickups in the off-season was the move Denver made to get Jerami Grant. Jerami Grant is a perfect fit in Denver's system. His defense and offensive tendencies make him perfect to suit up alongside Jokic, as well as his insane athleticism. He's close to an elite 3-point shooter, almost making 40% of his attempts from downtown, and this has allowed him to be a great 6-man for the team, averaging almost 12 points a game. Overall, Grant has to be the most underrated player on the Nuggets, and his impact should not get overstated. It may not appear very exciting on the box score, but if you watch Denver, which I actually have been a bit lately, his impact is much bigger than that. The final player I want to talk about positively today is Michael Porter Jr. To begin the season, MPJ barely played at all. I think he didn't even get any good amount of game time until about 15 games into the season, and I'm honestly not too sure why, because when he's been out there, he's been absolutely fantastic. Maybe he had to earn Michael Malone's trust or something like that, I'm not too sure, but I'm certain he has now. MPJ is averaging a cool 8 points per game and 4 rebounds, however, this is only in 14 minutes of action. When given more game time, we've seen how well Porter can play, like the time he dropped 25 points on almost perfect shooting against the Pacers. Also, if we convert his numbers to per 36 stats, he averages a double-double of 20 and 11. That's really good, and he has shown time and time again his star potential this season. The fact he wasn't selected to the Rising Stars game, and a guy like Nickeil Alexander-Walker did, is just crazy to me. MPJ just overall adds to the insane depth of Denver, which I will touch on in a bit, and provides that extra scoring power that could surprise teams in the playoffs. MPJ simply is the Denver Nuggets' secret weapon. So those are the players I think are contributing the most to the Nuggets right now this season. And I know there is obviously some more, as the Nuggets have one of the deepest benches in the NBA, with guys like Monte Morris, Will Barton, etc. coming off it, all really solid contributors. Also, if you're wondering why I didn't talk about Paul Millsap, he has been injured for most of the season, so whilst he is one of the core guys, in my opinion, his impact isn't as high as it seems, but no disrespect to him. Now, one more guy you might have noticed I didn't talk about was Gary Harris, and I'm not here to say Gary Harris is a bad player or isn't a worthy contributor on Denver to talk about. However, there is one common thing I've noticed with him, and that's the sudden drop-off in play over the last couple years. To put it simply, Harris has seemingly forgotten how to shoot. A little over 2 seasons ago, Harris was seen as the bright spot in Denver, and was regarded to many as the future all-star guard out of him and Jamal Murray. I mean, he had just averaged 18 and 3 on great efficiency, close to 40% from 3 too, and his game overall was constantly improving. All of a sudden though, in the 2018-19 season, Harris's scoring ability and efficiency plummeted, and his numbers dropped to 13 points on 33% shooting from 3 and 42% from the field. And finally, this year, Harris's stats have again dropped, now down to 10 points, 30% from 3, and an absolutely awful 39% from the field. It's pretty stunning. A young player with this much promise to just drop off out of nowhere is crazy, and there's no clear reason as to why. I'm pretty confident it's not due to Jamal Murray, maybe it's a confidence thing, I have no clue. But something behind the scenes happened to Gary Harris, and it's caused him to fall from future star to average starter. Is this impacting Denver though? Not majorly, and it actually may be a help to them winning, with Jamal Murray having a more defined role as the number 1 guard. But overall, Gary Harris is still a solid contributor to me, just unfortunately not the same player we once knew. I hope he can turn things around, but things aren't looking too good, unfortunately. But with all this being said, after looking at the Nuggets season so far, after looking at their core group of guys, how good are they really? First of all, let's talk about the teams I think they are better than. To me, they are clearly better than any of the teams competing for the 8th seed, so that's Memphis, Portland, New Orleans, and San Antonio. I also believe they are better than the Mavericks and the Jazz too, that's my opinion. Jokic is better than both of those teams as big men, and the depth of the Nuggets really helps them here. I think a series with the Jazz would actually be really interesting, but I have the Nuggets coming out of that on top. I think they're 50-50 with Houston right now. I might give Houston the edge as of now, considering how they've been playing, but that'd also be a close series. Against OKC, even though they were blown out against them the other day, I still believe they are the better team. So that leaves the Lakers and Clippers, and to be honest, those are the only Western Conference teams I'm confident would beat the Nuggets in a 7-game series. Even then, if they play them in a playoff series, it's by no means a sweep too. So, with this all said, how far do I think the Nuggets will go in the playoffs? If I'm being honest here, they're probably realistically a second round exit, but don't be surprised if they make the Western Conference Finals. Last year, I wasn't too sure about Denver. I wasn't 100% certain about if they were legit or not. But after getting literally one game away from a conference finals appearance and repeating similar regular season success, I think they can do so again. The Nuggets are getting heavily underrated right now. This team is still very young, so a second round exit this year wouldn't be too disappointing too. That's what's crazy, they're still definitely a contender for years to come. Even then, with me setting their expectation as a second round exit, this doesn't mean they won't be a threat this year. I feel like they are getting no attention for no reason at all and really need the credit for being a legit contender. This team is constantly proving how good they are lately with big wins versus teams like the Raptors, Jazz, etc. I don't think this team is the best in the West at all, but they shouldn't be overlooked as a pretender. The Nuggets can give your favorite team a run for their money, and they should not be disrespected any further. That is my overall thoughts about the Nuggets. They're probably not going to go too far this season, but that doesn't mean we should keep them out of the title contention conversation like it seems we have been doing. Honestly, I might be wrong here. There might be some people talking about the Nuggets as contending. But from what I've seen on ESPN, from major media companies like Bleacher Report, the Nuggets mentions are almost non-existent, which is really unfortunate. To me, this team is legit and should not be thought of as pretenders. But that will conclude the video. What do you guys think of this? How good are the Nuggets to you? Can they go all the way this season? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.